I'm Rachel,
And I'm Amanda.
and this is episode 52 of Books and Bingos. This week we're discussing books featuring a library or a librarian. So, Amanda, this is a very fitting topic for us, right?
Absolutely. And it's school library month. So perfect choice. Good job, Rachel.
Right on time. I think this is
Yes.
the one you picked. So,
Oh,
I think so. I think this is the one you recommended. So, we just squeezed it in right in a perfect time for us.
yes. I'm excited Friday, April 4th was school library day. Did you get recognized at your school?
Yes, I had one of our community service groups made me a little card. They had a bunch of kids sign it and brought it to me. And then my media team, once they saw that, they went and made one for me as well. So it was really cute.
I love when they do that. They're like, "Oh yeah, we knew the whole time." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah.
But the cards are the best. Those are my favorite things from students or notes or cards or any of that stuff. That's the best.
And you were at a teacher conference. So did you guys do anything special?
We did not. It was the last day of the Texas Librarian Association conference. And if you've ever been, it is a lot. It is long, long days, lots of sessions, lots of authors, go, 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 publisher events. So on the last day, we had to drive back 4 hours. So it was like, Misty Copeland, the first like big African American ballerina was our closing speaker. And then it was like everyone just kind of hit the road, and it was like we want to be home in our own beds. But I took that as like a great school library day because we got to hear, her speak and still do some sessions. So it was a good
Sure,
time. Yeah.
sure. All right, Amanda, tell us about your first library themed pick this week.
Okay, so I think I mentioned this last time. Thought this would be the first manga that I was gonna do, but I ended up slipping one in the last episode, our 50th. But this one, or episode before last, this one is Library Wars, Love and War, Volume 1 by Kiro Umi. And it's an upper YA manga, kind of like my last one, would be like 16 plus, and it offers like a fascinating blend of action and romance and dystopian drama. It is like set in a world where books are under threat of censorship. I know that's crazy, right? By like a repressive government. And so what they do is in the future, they have a library defense force, the LDF, and it's established to protect citizens' right to read freely. The premise is very real world. I think there was a lot more. This isn't like is it a new one? Let me see. It's a good question. I read it a while ago. It definitely can parallel what's happening right now, right? Um, so it follows Iku Kasahara, a passionate and determined young recruit in the LDF. She's motivated by a personal memory of being saved by a mysterious prince after losing her favorite book to the censorship authorities when she was younger. Despite being the first woman in this elite task force and facing numerous challenges, Iku's persistence and her idealism make her someone you can't help rooting for. Her journey is inspiring and relatable, especially for readers who share her love for books and the desire to protect free expression. I think the strength in this manga is the balance between action and romance. I do like to have a little romance in my books, not gonna lie. Um, it is very will they, won't they tension that like keeps the readers like hooked and engaged. The first volume spends a lot of time world building. So if you are somebody that likes to read manga and like multiple, like you want the whole series and stuff, this is definitely one that you're going to want to read the next one after that. And then I think that overall it's a captivating introduction to a series that combines high stakes of a dystopian thriller with the warmth of a romance. If you liked Banned Book Club, um, you will definitely, that's a graphic novel. You would definitely like this one as well. The content warnings would be misogyny, violence, war, and injury. Bingo Squares would be a complete series. So that would fit for the bingo. And well, I don't think that's on this one. But for the yearly challenge, it would be complete a series. So,
Perfect. My next pick is a graphic novel. It's called The Night Librarian by Christopher Lincoln. It came out just this past year, and I really, really enjoyed this one. It really follows these two kids who are working with the night librarian, whose job it is to keep the magic in the books at night. But the characters start escaping the books and causing a lot of trouble in the library. So the two siblings must team up with that night librarian to set things right and locate their own lost book. They borrowed their dad's rare copy of Dracula, and it has gone missing with all the hijinks going on in the library. So this was super fun. It was a really fun, wonderful story, great illustrative work. The colors were amazing, and just super fun little library story. Very imaginative, like what would happen if characters in the books like released in the library and got to interact. So I thought that was fun. This would also be something cool to do with the kids, like let them come up with their own characters from different books that would interact in the library. Content warnings would be parental abandonment, sort of, and violence. For the Bingo Square, it'd be a 2024 release.
That sounds so cute. I haven't even heard of that one, I don't
Oh,
think.
you'll have to read it. You'll love it.
Yay. It feels a little Toy Story, right? Like when the when the toys go to sleep, or when the humans go to sleep, the toys hang out. So that sounds cool. So my second one is What You Wish For by Catherine Center. I actually read this one on my way to the librarian conference this past Monday. It is an adult romance book featuring a school librarian who fights for her campus when a new admin takes over, which I think a lot of us can relate to. It changes school culture and everything like that when someone comes in and takes over. So Samantha has found a home in Galveston, Texas, with her amazing principal, Max, and his art teacher wife. But when Max dies, a new principal is hired to take over their school. Duncan Carpenter was the reason Samantha fled California. She was so in love with him that she couldn't even work with him on campus any longer. But the man who shows up to be the principal is not the same man she once knew. No longer is he like the fun teacher with the crazy, zany ideas. Now his only focus is on school safety. He doesn't smile, doesn't laugh. He is serious to a fault and is not afraid to make some changes in the school, like a lot of changes. So Sam has no problem getting rid of the crush she once had because he becomes like her new enemy. I absolutely adored this. I am still kind of relatively new to the Catherine Center world. She was actually at TLA, and Megan, who's been on the show before, got to meet her, and it was like a bucket list moment because she loves her so much, and I've heard such like amazing things about her books, and everyone I've read, I've absolutely loved. So I think she is the master of the genre that rides the line between literary fiction and closed door romance. Like, yes, there's a romance. Yes, it's marketed as a romance, but I feel like it's more about the connection with the characters and the story itself. I think she nailed what it's like to be an educator and a school librarian. Man, she goes into all of the things that we do on a daily basis. And like, I loved that because a lot of people think we just sit and read. And it's even said that in the book that that's like not anything that we do or have time for. So I really appreciate her doing her due diligence and her research. And also, it was a Texas setting book. So that was cool. Content warnings would be mass school shooting, child death, death of a parent, grief, injury, medical content, gun violence, chronic illness, seizures, ableism, toxic relationship, panic attack on page, bullying, and suicide attempt. The bingo squares would be any book from the podcast. Book club pick. I think this would be a great book club choice. There's a lot of things to talk about with this one. And romance. And then the yearly challenge would be book club pick. A romance trope you don't normally read. This is going to fall into like the grumpy sunshine trope, or just like the teacher trope. If you wanted to read about teacher romance, that would fit too.
All right. I feel like my next one is a very obvious pick. I feel like most listeners should have read this already, but that is Escape from Mr. Lemoncello's Library by Chris Gravenstein. This is a middle grade mystery adventure series. The story centers around a group of kids who gets a chance to spend the night in the world's most amazing library, all designed by the very eccentric genius game maker, Mr. Limoncello. But there's a catch. The kids are locked in and they have to solve the puzzles and the riddles before they can escape in the morning. It's like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory meets the Goonies with a library twist. The puzzles are all super clever, and there's tons of twists that keep you on the edge of your seat. Plus, the characters are really fun to follow, and each one brings something unique to the group as they work together to figure out how to beat the clock. So, if you like games with clues and mysteries, or just the idea of an amazing, fun library like this is definitely for you. This is great for kids and adults alike. The sixth and final book was just released last year, as well as the first book as a graphic novel. So you can start back in again now with this graphic novel series releasing. This would be great for our yearly challenge for Finish a Series.
I love that series. Chris is so funny. And I don't know how people that write these books like Lindsay Curry or Allison Gerber, where there's like clues and all of these things they have to, I'm not good at that. I would not be good at creating a world where everything is a clue. So props to them.
Absolutely. And those are our recommendations for the week. If you have questions, suggestions, or comments, reach out on social media at Books and Bingos or email us at booksandbingos@gmail.com. Thanks for listening and join us again next week when we'll be recommending books releasing in May. Happy reading!